guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Elsie and this is...
Tony?
Well, interestingly enough, I do not know what we're talking about today because it's supposed to be a surprise. Tony, though, he has something to share. So
Yeah.
what do you have to share?
Well, I want to talk about failure.
That's very dark.
Well, failure is a dark thing, unless, of course, there's any sort of way through it. Yeah, and that's the bright bit, I suppose. But several programs ago talked about sort of getting a grip on my weight control, my
Yeah.
relationship with food. Well, as everyone can probably see, that diet has been slightly less than successful. I can't really blame the diet if you're eating unrestricted amounts of biscuits and chips and, well, okay, that's what happens. So it's something I do need. There's sort of one element of failure. I do need to sort of get back on track with that. And I'm sure I'll get help from my colleagues, friends and well-wishers, all three of them. But what I want to talk about really, apart from that, is something that happened to us last week that hasn't happened for, as far as I can remember, more than 20 years, maybe more. And I really, really suffered. And funny enough, it has a connection also with some of the big problems in this world, the wars and destruction and killings and God knows what.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, no, it's okay. I'm not starting any war. But there was a war going on inside of me. And what this was about, on Thursday just of last week, for the first time, as I say, in more than 20 years, I went to sleep not reaching peace or forgiveness with people that I felt I had something against.
Great.
I just kept that going and I wouldn't let go. Okay. And they weren't particularly big things. It wasn't they weren't big crimes or anything else like that. I don't know, stupidity, incompetence, whatever. But it was just small things. But nonetheless, we can take a small thing and just like an oyster makes a pearl, it just winds round and round and round. It makes into something big. Well, in the oyster's case, it makes a piece of grit into something beautiful, a pearl. But when a human holds a lack of forgiveness in their heart and bitterness, it grows, but it doesn't become something beautiful. It becomes something absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
And it had me a really... Now, I hesitate to say depressed because people who are really depressed, who cannot shake it off, have experienced this for years. Maybe they've tried therapy, they've tried medication, all sorts of things. They would laugh at somebody saying, you don't know what it's about. But all I can say is I had a taste. Just like you may not have eaten many, many particular dishes from overseas, but all of a sudden, if you have a good spoonful, now you know what it tastes like.
Right.
So I had a spoonful of this to the extent where I didn't want to do programs. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to associate with anyone. I wanted to just run away and hide from everything and everyone. And most of all, I wanted to run away and hide from myself. I couldn't face just being there, so I just wanted to shut everything out. And that was... and I'm sure many people who are watching or listening just now can relate to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I was just listening to you saying that it wasn't any particular, like, it wasn't any big thing. It was like little things that you hadn't let go of. And it made you feel really, really horrible. And what just came to mind was, have you ever asked a divorced couple what led to the divorce? Or in my case, my mates would not be divorced, but why they broke up with their boyfriend. And you hardly hear anyone say anything big. It's never he beats for me, I've never ever asked any of my friends, why did you break up with this person? And they've said, oh, he was more treating me or something like that. It's always been the little things that never got spoken about.
Sure.
And then it'll fester and then it grows into something where you're like, I really don't even want to look at this person's face. Meanwhile, like you say, if you deal with it then you forgive the person, or even if in that moment you don't feel like you're at the point where you want to forgive the
Sure.
person, talk about it at least. Because I think you were just saying, even with your diet, like you're probably not ready to start today, but you want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's this power in just saying things out loud. Like when you're feeling some type of way about someone, just to say, do you know what, I'm not happy with you right now. In fact, I don't even want to see your face. And even like taking that step, as opposed to just keeping quiet about it and letting it, go on and on and on. And at some point, you don't even know what's annoying you anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think and like you say, it's like, it's not only in our personal lives, it's like in our families, and then in the community, and then in the country, and then
that's right. Yeah, because the lack of forgiveness,
yeah,
and it grows exponentially into a kind of bitterness, and the only then way seemingly to solve that bitterness, literally, is to go to war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we can't tolerate these people being horrible to us. We've got to wipe them out, or teach them a lesson, whatever.
Yeah.
And funny. As far as the one moment to have a swig. Over the years, I've talked to many couples who were thinking about getting married. Others who maybe were going through a bad patch in their marriage.
Right.
And I said, there's the divorce rates, separation rates are horrendous for in the Western world. It's 40 coming on to 50% of marriage. And even more shamefacedly, I have to say that a big proportion of those breakups happen to Christian couples as well. So you think, well, what's happening to all the Christian teaching? They believe this, they believe the other, as I do, and why are they breaking up? And the secret, I think, is not just a case of sharing a common belief, but the putting into action in a concrete way, and the concrete way being this: at the end of every day, making a commitment to spending 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, saying sorry, if you can say sorry. If you can't, at least expressing the need. I know I need to say sorry. I'm not in that place yet.
Right.
Yeah. That, as you say, you're acknowledging it, you're moving forward. I am sorry for whatever I've done to upset or hurt you today, because I remember a time, obviously, when it was a lot different. And, Now, I would connect that with saying, if you've got a friend, a real friend whom you trust, if you ask that friend to do something for you that they could do, or if that friend asked you to do something for them that you could do within your power, I'm sure you would say yes, if it wasn't unreasonable what they were asking you. Now, from my background, I would say, well, a couple who spend that few minutes at night time saying to God, we're sorry for what we've done wrong today.
Right.
We know that you're there. We know we feel very, very low just now, but we know that you love us, and we know deep down that we love the other person as well. It's just that at this moment, our feelings have let us down. You see how treacherous feelings can be.
Yeah.
And, okay, now, go back to the bit about friendship and helping a friend. If you ask someone to do something they can do and want to do, of course, well, the spiritual aspect of that 5-minute exercise is if you're asking God something he can do and wants to do, well, believe you me, just like any good friend would do, he would do it. To help, why not?
Yeah.
Because you're asking sincerely. And the second, the practical bit, because I really believe the truly spiritual and the truly practical go hand in hand. The practical bit is that no problem has more than 23 hours, 55 minutes to harden. Because 5 minutes out of every 24 hours, you're wiping the slate and making a fresh start. And as you said earlier, the breakups that happen, it's the little things which have built up and up and up, and until finally someone's close. I can't take this anymore, etc. Yeah. I mean, okay, there are breakups over big things. Maybe someone's been unfaithful. You've got that's a big thing, but usually it's the little things, but have built up, and it hasn't been over one day. Nobody ever says to the other person, "Do you know something? Our relationship is over." Why? Because you didn't try the dishes today.
No, it's
but leave that going for 3 months, and maybe do you realize, etc. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And then you don't do the dishes, then you don't empty the bin.
Yeah.
And then well, in the next 3 months, maybe it's for a very good reason that you didn't do the dishes, but it's going to be, do you remember 3 months ago when you didn't do the dishes?
I hope you're getting your speech ready for your for your intended, aren't you? Oh, dear.
Yeah, no, it's a really, because, I mean, how many times have people, lost very precious relationships just because, well, they won't either talk about it, or they won't say sorry, or they won't. And I'm just thinking, like, those who are, we're talking about people who've gotten divorced, but also on the other hand, people who have been married for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that it's been all good and rosy. It's like, I'm sure it's been filled with loads and loads and loads of sorries, and loads and loads and loads of why did you do that. But then I do feel like the only difference between relationships that will work and those that won't work, just because we're very different people, like each person is different, is just to be willing to work it out and to say, sorry.
Yeah.
Even though it's really hard. It can be really hard to say.
Well, I mean, I've got a little conviction that sort of, if everybody in the world was taught 5 words and they had to learn these 5 words and practice them, that would be the end of the problems. And the 5 words would be please, thank you, yes, no, and sorry. So that you don't take anything without asking please. We thank anyone, and we're grateful for what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to say no. You want to say yes.
Yes, and mean it. That's right. If you promise to do something, whatever, you say yes and no, and sorry when you've got it wrong. Only 5 words. You translate them to all the languages very, very quickly. And those 5 words there. And surely, whether you've got any religion or no religion, it makes no difference. Those 5 words would make us.
Yeah. Right. We have come to the end of our program.
Yeah.
And I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've watched up to this point, kindly like, comment, subscribe,
share.
And remember those 5 words. Please, thank you, yes, no,
sorry.
And if you've got any stories to share, any, comments, any contributions, kindly put in the comments, or you can send an email, send it to our social media platforms, which would be in the video. And until next time, it's bye. If you like this video, kindly like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find us on other social media platforms, on Twitter at Talk with Tony and on Instagram at talkwithtony.live. Don't forget, live, laugh, and most importantly, love. Watch out for the next video. It's bye for now.